Something shocking is coming. After years of betrayal, blood, and power struggles, fans everywhere are asking the same question. Is this really the end of the Power universe? From the streets of New York to the world of organized crime, this universe has captured hearts, broken trust, and kept audiences glued to their screens. But with recent developments, final season announcements, and major cast departures, the whispers are growing louder. Could it all be coming to a dramatic close? Or is the Power universe simply evolving into something new, bigger, and even more dangerous? The story began with Power, a show that exploded onto the scene with a raw, gripping story of ambition, crime, and family loyalty. At its center was James "Ghost" St. Patrick, a man trying to live a double life, balancing a legitimate business with his empire in the shadows. Ghost's world was a delicate balance of power and betrayal, and as viewers, we watched every twist with anticipation, from high-stakes drug deals to shocking murders. The original show wasn't just a story about crime, it was about the consequences of choices, the cost of ambition, and the fragility of trust in a world built on secrets. The Power universe didn't stop there. With Power Book 2, Ghost, the story jumped forward to explore what happens after Ghost's shocking death. His legacy, his enemies, and his children's futures became the new battleground. Tariq, Ghost's son, was thrust into a dangerous world he barely understood, trying to survive, protect his family, and carve out his own path in a world that seems determined to destroy him. Each episode of Ghost's spin-off pushed the limits of suspense, with moral dilemmas, unexpected alliances, and betrayals that cut deep. Fans were glued not only to the action, but to the emotional stakes. Every decision could mean life or death, freedom or prison. Then came Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, a prequel that showed how everything started. We were given a deeper understanding of the St. Patrick family, the early formation of the criminal empire, and the events that shaped characters like Kanan, whose journey would later intersect with Ghost's life in unforgettable ways. Raising Kanan didn't just entertain, it gave fans context, showing how ambition, loyalty, and the thirst for power were inherited traits. The prequel connected dots, answered long-standing questions, and painted the world in shades of moral gray, where good intentions could quickly spiral into tragedy. Meanwhile, Power Book 4, Force explored a new side of the universe, focusing on Tommy Egan and his own rise in the criminal underworld. Tommy's story added a fresh perspective, showing the universe from a different lens while maintaining the high stakes fans had come to expect. Each show in the Power universe was more than a story about crime. It was a story about survival, loyalty, and the human desire to control one's destiny. Across these shows, we saw characters fall, rise, and sometimes disappear forever. And this intricate web of storytelling created a universe fans couldn't look away from. As we look back at the timeline of the Power universe, it's clear that these shows are tightly connected, each one building upon the events of the other. Families, alliances, and enemies crisscross through the narrative, creating a rich tapestry of interconnected stories, from shocking deaths to unexpected betrayals. Every twist has left viewers hungry for more. The universe has thrived not just on action, but on character development, the psychology of power, and the constant tension between loyalty and ambition. It's this complexity that has kept fans invested, discussing theories online and eagerly anticipating what comes next. But now, the question looms over every fan's mind. With the original Power series concluded and spin-offs exploring different timelines and characters, are we approaching the end? Will these stories continue to evolve? Or are we witnessing the final act of one of the most iconic crime universes of the decade? The speculation isn't just idle chatter, it's fueled by every season finale, every shocking cliffhanger, and every statement from the show's creators. The universe has set the stage for its most crucial moments yet. And understanding its journey so far is essential to knowing why the idea of an ending feels both possible and terrifying to its dedicate. At Fanbase, the Power universe has always been more than just a TV show. It's a reflection of ambition, the struggle for survival, and the consequences of choices. As fans, we've been invited into a world where every decision matters, where alliances can shatter in an instant, and where the cost of power is measured in blood. And as rumors of a potential end spread, it's not just the fate of characters at stake, it's the end of an era that has defined modern television crime drama. This is why understanding the history, the spin-offs, and the ongoing storylines is crucial before we even begin to imagine what comes next. The past year has seen some major changes in the Power universe. Changes that have left fans questioning whether this world of crime, ambition, and betrayal can continue. Across the spin-offs and the original series legacy, key events have shifted the balance of power, and some of them hint that the universe may be reaching its final chapter. One of the biggest factors is the end of the original Power series itself. Ghost's story concluded in a way that left lasting consequences for the characters who survived, especially Tariq, whose decisions in Power Book 2, Ghost carry forward the weight of his father's legacy. The end of Ghost's journey was more than just a conclusion. It marked a turning point for the universe, forcing other storylines to either evolve or end. In addition, some of the most iconic characters have either left the shows or reached pivotal points in their arcs. Tommy Egan, for instance, has been central to Power Book 4 Force, but his story is now moving into a phase where his alliances are breaking down and new enemies are emerging. Fans have noticed the shift in narrative focus, with the story branching out to new characters and settings. This naturally raises questions about whether the original tension and energy of the universe can be sustained. When the stories start exploring new angles while the main characters are no longer central, it often signals a natural winding down, as the universe tests whether it can survive without its foundational players. Showrunner and creator movements have also fueled speculation. Statements from Curtis 50 Cent Jackson and other production insiders have hinted at both endings and new beginnings. Interviews have mentioned that the universe has told the core story but is open to expansion through spin-offs and miniseries, while fans interpret these statements as potential endings. The ambiguity has only intensified curiosity. The idea that the main arcs have been resolved and that new stories may not reach the same emotional stakes has sparked debates online about whether the Power universe will ever feel the same again. Ratings trends have played a subtle but important role in these rumors. While spin-offs like Raising Kanan and Force have had moments of high engagement, viewership patterns indicate a natural decline compared to the original series' peak. This is not unusual for long-running universes, but when combined with actor departures and story resolutions, it fuels the perception that the franchise may be entering its sunset phase. Fans have pointed out that the excitement feels different now, with new characters trying to fill the massive shoes left behind by Ghost, Tommy, and other central figures. The energy that once defined the universe seems harder to capture, and that perception contributes to the sense that the end could be near. Other behind-the-scenes developments have also added to the speculation. Contract expirations, production changes, and the natural challenges of sustaining a sprawling multi-series universe all point to the possibility of winding down. Social media chatter amplifies these concerns as fans dissect every news article, interview, or teaser for clues about the future each time a key character's storyline concludes, or a showrunner hints at a new direction. The discussion intensifies. The combination of narrative closure, actor departures, and strategic decisions by the creators creates an environment where rumors of the end seem not just plausible, but almost inevitable. Finally, major plot events across the shows themselves have contributed to the perception that the universe may be nearing its end. High-stakes betrayals, shocking deaths, and the rise and fall of criminal empires all reinforce the idea that the story is coming full circle. The universe has always been built on cycles of ambition and consequence, and recent seasons have emphasized endings more than beginnings. Characters who once seemed invincible are now vulnerable, and alliances that felt permanent are breaking apart. It's a reminder that in the Power universe, no one is safe, and the combination of these arcs may be pointing to a final act that reshapes everything fans thought they knew about this world. Fans of the Power universe have never been shy about sharing their thoughts, theories, and fears about the show's future, as news about character exits, plot twists, and potential spin-offs began circulating. Online communities exploded with speculation. Social media platforms, fan forums, and comment sections became battlegrounds for passionate debates. Some fans are convinced the universe is approaching its final chapter, while others believe it's merely evolving into a new era waiting to surprise audiences with unexpected twists. The sheer intensity of these discussions highlights how deeply invested viewers are in every character, plot line, and unresolved mystery. While fans have been speculating endlessly, the creators and key figures behind the Power universe have provided hints that add another layer of intrigue. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, the executive producer and a driving force behind the franchise, has often walked a fine line between reassurance and mystery in interviews. He has acknowledged that the original story of Ghost and the St. Patrick family has reached its critical conclusion, while simultaneously teasing new possibilities through spin-offs and extensions of the universe. His statements often leave room for interpretation, fueling both excitement and uncertainty among viewers. Every carefully worded comment is analyzed by fans, searching for clues about whether the universe is heading toward closure or expansion. Showrunners and writers have echoed similar sentiments. They emphasize that the Power universe has always been about exploring consequences, moral choices, and the unpredictable nature of crime and ambition. However, some of their interviews have hinted that the current spin-offs, such as Power Book 2, Ghost, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, and Power Book 4, Force, are approaching major narrative milestones. Writers have suggested that the arcs for certain characters may be coming to a natural end, and that the interconnected storylines are starting to converge toward climactic moments. These revelations have made fans pay even closer attention to every episode, picking apart details and foreshadowing that might indicate a final act. Official announcements regarding spin-offs have also added to the speculation. Some projects have been confirmed, while others remain unverified rumors. For example, creators have mentioned exploring stories around secondary characters and untapped timelines, but details remain deliberately vague. This ambiguity keeps audiences on edge, as every new development could either be a continuation or the final chapter of a beloved narrative. Fans interpret even the smallest teasers, poster designs, or social media posts as potential hints about the future of the universe, highlighting just how influential the creator's words are in shaping public perception. Actor statements have also played a role in fueling the conversation. Cast members have occasionally hinted at departures, character closures, or shifts in focus, which naturally leads to questions about the universe's longevity. When a major character hints at the end of their journey, fans immediately connect the dots with showrunner comments, teasing trailers, and storyline patterns. The combination of official statements, actor insights, and behind-the-scenes decisions creates a complex web of clues, leaving viewers both hopeful and anxious about what comes next. Additionally, creators have made it clear that while the original storylines may conclude, the universe itself isn't necessarily disappearing. They have teased future spin-offs, new characters, and alternate perspectives that could sustain the world in different ways. This approach suggests that the Power universe may evolve rather than end completely, transitioning from its familiar characters to new stories that maintain the core themes of ambition, loyalty, and the consequences of choices. Yet, the lack of concrete details keeps fans guessing, creating a constant tension between closure and continuation. Statements from executives at Starz also provide insight into the universe's trajectory. They have hinted at strategic planning around storytelling, viewership, and brand longevity, emphasizing that decisions about ending or extending the universe are not taken lightly. Ratings fan engagement, and critical reception all factor into these choices, showing that the fate of the Power universe involves both creative and business considerations. This intersection of artistry and strategy contributes to the perception that the universe may be entering a transitional phase 1 where some stories conclude, while others have the potential to expand. Ultimately, official statements reveal a careful balancing act. The creators respect the legacy of the original Power story while also exploring new narrative opportunities. They intentionally leave room for interpretation, allowing fans to speculate and engage with the universe in ways that keep it alive even as storylines reach natural conclusions. Every word, interview, and announcement contributes to the ongoing debate. Will the Power universe end completely, or is it simply transforming into a new chapter, waiting for the next twist that will redefine everything audiences thought they knew? Looking ahead, the Power universe could take several paths, each with its own risks, opportunities, and surprises. One possibility is that the universe reaches a full conclusion. The original stories of Ghost, Tariq, Kanan, and Tommy might come to a definitive end, closing the arcs that have defined the series for years. If this happens, spin-offs may serve as the final bow, wrapping up loose ends and giving fans closure. In this scenario, every betrayal, every alliance, and every high-stakes decision would ultimately tie into a final chapter, leaving the universe complete but contained. While some fans may mourn the end, this approach ensures that the storytelling remains tight, emotionally impactful, and true to the vision of the creators. Another scenario involves spin-offs taking the lead in continuing the universe effectively, passing the torch to new characters or unexplored storylines. Secondary figures previously in the background could rise to prominence, exploring fresh conflicts and alliances. For example, characters introduced in Raising Kanan could find their stories merging with modern-day arcs, creating an intricate timeline where past and present collide. Alternatively, supporting characters from Force or Ghost might become central figures, giving the universe a chance to reinvent itself while keeping the familiar themes of power, loyalty, and consequence intact. This approach would allow the universe to expand without relying on the original core cast, giving both writers and audiences the freedom to explore new angles. A third possibility involves a more dramatic reinvention of the universe, where the Power brand evolves beyond its current shows. This could include crossovers, reboots, or even entirely new series set in different cities or countries, but maintaining the same tone and intensity. The world of organized crime, family loyalty, and moral compromise could be transplanted into new contexts, giving the franchise global appeal while keeping the narrative stakes high. Fans have speculated about such moves, imagining storylines where legacy characters make cameo appearances, passing wisdom or conflict to a new generation. This approach would allow the Power universe to grow beyond its established parameters, potentially making it a long-running franchise with multiple entry points for new viewers. A more subtle scenario is one where the universe becomes episodic or anthology style. Instead of a continuous storyline following the same characters, the shows could focus on different moral dilemmas, power struggles, and criminal enterprises in each installment. This would preserve the thematic core of the Power universe while avoiding the risk of narrative fatigue. Fans could see stories exploring new settings, unexpected characters, and fresh conflicts, all tied together by the same tone and high-stakes drama that made the original series so compelling. It's a model that has worked for other long-running franchises, allowing them to maintain relevance while keeping the storytelling dynamic. Finally, there is the hybrid scenario where the universe partially concludes some arcs while leaving others open. For instance, Ghost and Tommy's stories could reach definitive endings, while younger characters like Tariq or Kanan continue to evolve in new shows. This approach offers a balance, giving closure where it's needed while leaving space for future exploration. It satisfies longtime fans who want resolution, but also preserves the potential for surprises, spin-offs, and new storylines. The hybrid approach would reflect the complexity of the Power universe itself, acknowledging that while some cycles end, the world it created is larger than any single character or plotline. Each of these scenarios carries its own emotional and narrative weight. The Power universe has always thrived on tension, moral ambiguity, and unpredictability, and its future will depend on which path the creators choose, whether it ends completely, reinvents itself, or finds a balance between closure and continuation. The choices made now will define how fans remember one of the most compelling crime universes of the past decade. The uncertainty itself keeps audiences engaged, theorizing, and emotionally invested, ensuring that even as the stories evolve, the Power universe remains alive in the minds and hearts of its fans.